So I really wanted to make this video for a while now, but I wanted to get all my information together. I wanted to study this story, and I want to be as sensitive to the situation as possible because realistically, somebody did lose their life. A father protecting his children and, was labeled a hero. So it's very unfortunate. And I really want to get into this story, and I would love to speak my mind fully, but I'm not going to because I'm not trying to get canceled. I'm not trying to lose my jobs because that's where it's gotten, and it's kind of disturbing how far it's gotten because as it is wrong to wish death on anybody, I 100% heartily agree on that. I don't want someone to die. I don't want DT to die in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't hate the man. People want me to hate Donald Trump. I don't hate Donald Trump, right? I'm not going to. And if you want me to, great. If people don't want me to, great. But I'm also not going to worship Donald Trump, and I'm not going to wear hats and other things. And I'm personally not going to vote for Donald Trump. Just straight up. It's just not what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to say who I'm going to vote for, if I even vote. So this is going to be a lengthy video, but I want you guys to indulge with me and listen to me. And I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not a Harvard graduate, but I did study this situation. I did study, what went on. And evidently, at the end of the day, when somebody says, this is all real because somebody lost their life, do you think for 1 second that if somebody wanted someone dead and there was one casualty in the process, that they don't think that's a win? Because realistically, if the government or the Democratic Party, I'm not saying this is real, I'm just saying, if the Democratic Party or the the government wanted DT dead and somebody else died, do you think they're going to look at that as a loss? Or if he got hurt and made him scared so he doesn't run anymore, they wouldn't look at it as a loss. So when people say like, oh, somebody died, so this has to be real, that's not necessarily true, in my personal opinion. Again, I'm not trying to be insensitive whatsoever of the situation, because the situation is real. When I first saw this, I was eating dinner with my girlfriend, and I literally thought it was just fake. I didn't see the video at all. I just saw, DT. I saw blood. I just thought it was like a skit or something, almost like a Saturday Night Live thing. And then I watched it one time, and I was like, that doesn't even sound like a real gun to me. So then I just kept watching it, and I kept looking into information, and, back to the situation. It's interesting because I was just watching the Joe Rogan podcast where he talks about this. And one of the things that he mentioned was Donald Trump was playing golf and made this could be wrong. I don't know if he said this was real or not, but he said Donald Trump made a joke when he was playing golf and said that he never misses, unlike the shooter, something like that in the realm of that. I don't know if that was just a joke or whatever, but I was looking at this Twitter group called Liberals something of TikTok or something like that. And this whole group is to cancel people that, again, wished upon death upon the or ex-president or former president. Again, it's wrong. Is it necessarily right to get people fired from their job because of what they said publicly? That kind of is like, hey, you have freedom of speech, but the freedom of your speech is going to cost you. Now, then it's like, oh, the people of the right are acting now like the people of the left because they're tired of the people of the left. So let me just make this 100% clear, is I do not side with either side. I am not a liberal. I am not a conservative. I do not put myself in any party because I don't necessarily agree with either side on most things. And I agree on some things. So that doesn't make me either or. Just because I don't like Donald Trump doesn't mean I like Joe Biden. And if I like Joe Biden doesn't mean I hate Donald Trump. And vice versa. It's just that way. So keep that in mind. But back to what they're doing on this Twitter is they're going to their employers, harassing them until they fire their employees. Or if they're owners, then they're leaving negative reviews and calling up the place until nobody goes there or protests peacefully at the location. Again, I just find this wrong because those people have children and they have family and everything, and you getting them fired is just making more people unemployed, and then their kids have no food or whatever because you just got their parent fired. Again, I am not justifying what they wrote and saying that it's right. I'm just saying that think before you act. If people want to be punished for what they said, why are you taking away their freedom of speech? Again, it's not right what they said, but they don't need to be punished for it. And if they are punished in some way, criticize them back. Use your keyboards to attack them like that. Getting them fired from their job, I just don't agree with. And it's like cancel culture, whatever. I didn't agree with that either. So I think that there has to be a level of respect. So back to the main story. This is going to be a little bit long, so I do apologize. So we have a 20-year-old shooter who is quote-unquote a Republican, donated money to the Democratic Party. Republicans don't want to agree that he's a Republican, but also is in favor of guns. And most of the time, the people that are in favor of guns are Republicans. That's just what it is. I personally am not for weapons. I believe that, yes, you should have a weapon in your home to protect your family that's perfectly safe, in a safe, and not accessible to your children. I do agree with that. Now, I personally don't do that, but I do agree with it. Do I agree with anybody should carry a weapon wherever they want and just... No, I don't, because I see so many videos of people who can't control themselves and one person honks at them, they come out with their gun and start shooting. That's ridiculous. So this 20-year-old has an AR-15, which is a semi-automatic weapon with huge bullets, and is pretty much seen 2 minutes before the actual shooting of people pointing out, and you can see 3 officers in this video, and they don't radio into the president or nothing. You then have snipers on a roof that sees the shooter in the sight, does nothing until the shooter shoots first, and then finally kills this young man, which I don't feel sorry for him because obviously he put himself in that situation. But again, it's not like I don't want people to die. Nobody should want anybody to die, just straight up. Nobody should want anybody to die. I don't know what was going through the shooter's head. I don't know if he was put up to it. I don't know if he was coerced. I just don't know that far. Now, there's things like, oh, there was a cop who went up on the roof and the shooter threatened to shoot him and the cop fell off the roof, and that was that. Again, where is the radio? And then everybody's trying to get this woman fired who was part of the Secret Service, but I don't know what control she had. And then, quote unquote, people are saying that the snipers on the roof had no control and was waiting for Secret Service to let them shoot. And then Secret Service came out and said they have full control and they can shoot whenever they want. They don't need our authority. There's so much going on with this story. Now, Joe Rogan was talking about, is this a simulation? Was this planned? Was this not real? My personal perspective, and first of all, let me go back to religion and stuff like that, because this goes so far. And before I give my opinion, I want to say that I respect people's belief in God. I respect people's belief in religion. What I personally don't agree with is that God made God, Jesus, whatever you want to believe in, made Donald Trump turn his head at the right time so he didn't die. Truthfully, that was 100% luck. It was 100% luck, because God doesn't choose to save Donald Trump, a person who's 79 years old, who lived his life and has no history of being an innocent person, quote unquote, but allows the retired firefighter to die protecting his family. It just doesn't add up to me. No disrespect to anyone or anybody's belief. I just don't believe that. That's what I believe. I personally made a video talking about, God in general, and I said what I believe in, and that's my belief, and nobody will ever coerce me. Nobody would ever change my mind, and I would not be brainwashed into believing something else. Again, I respect your belief. I don't have to believe in it. You believe in it. That's why when people push religion on other people, I just don't like it. It's very, very cultish. So we have the president who was shot in the ear. Again, they talked about something like a piece of glass hitting his ear. My personal opinion, I seen the bullet, and even if it grazed his ear, his whole ear would have just been almost disintegrated and burnt off from being shot at. So the aftermath of it and the lack of information given his, doctor visit or anything is a little weird to me. I don't want to be too skeptical of it, but it's a little weird to me that there's no more information. And, then he shows up at the Republican conference and he's perfectly fine and just has, a big Band-Aid on his ear. But realistically, the man who is being taken off the stage, demanding his shoes 3 different times, and then says stop for a photo and puts his hand up to fight, is not the person that's showing his ear and saying, look what it done. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. And this is me. I'm not speaking for what somebody else should do, but I'm speaking for myself. If I got shot in the ear, first of all, I would drop out of the campaign, but that's me. And I would show my ear and say, look what this bullet did to me, and show off my ear and give the doctor report and all these things. Something is hidden here. Something is really hidden here. And I'm not saying a person didn't die. I'm not saying Donald Trump didn't get injured. Something is definitely weird. So the boy who shot him is dead. We have a firefighter that I saw the video of him being carried off with the blood, which I don't like the way he was carried off the stage. I think it was very, very gruesome, just and very rough. The poor man was being dragged off, 4 people just carrying him. Like it wasn't a heroic goodbye. It was more like, let's get this guy off the stand. No, he was dead. There was blood all over him. There was blood all over another guy. It was very, very hard to watch and very gruesome. And I can't believe that's on YouTube. That's like just crazy. But I think they're just too busy to take it off right now, and they're not aware of it, or they're not removing it because they'll be under season fire. So very, very crazy situation. This will be talked about to the end of time. Other weird things was there's a girl in the background who was videoing the whole time and smiling, apparently, and people are trying to investigate that. But I feel like, yes, everybody deserves a reason why the shooter had that motive to do that, and when that's what they're looking for. But then they're also looking into so much things that are just kind of irrelevant. Like, was he bullied? Was he this? Was he that? Was he this? Blah, 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 blah. And I think some of it is just a little bit of nonsense and just overly boredom of like what's going on with this kid. So I want to try and wrap this up. I know there's so much more information. Like, there was a video of him in the background, I think like way previous to those 2 minutes. We have the parents looking for their son. We have him trying to go into the event and was kicked out because he didn't want to go through the metal detector. There's just so many things. And then again, if you're a Secret Service, why are you going to allow a man to get his shoes? Why are you going to allow a man to get up when there's, I mean, maybe they're like, okay, the shooter's dead, but there could be a second shooter. You don't know. So you can't just be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to let the man get his shoes. I'm going to let him do this. I'm going to let him do that. There's just so much to this story. And it's scary. It's really scary. And this literally shows how easy and accessible it is to assassinate a president in America. Why would Putin fear Trump? Why would, the president of, sorry, that's Putin. I don't know the other president of the war against Israel and Palestine. I'm not sure the president of Palestine, but you have to think about it. It shows America's weakness. And that's really scary for any president, any person in power, because they're so easily accessible to be assassinated when they're showing about how Reagan was shot and how he was covered up and protected. And the guy had like a Uzi in his hand and everybody was protecting him. So it's a big difference. And that's 40 whatever years ago. And he was more protected and cared for and everything. It's just like I would think they would stay on the president and tell him not to get up until they're 100% all clear. Not just the shooter dead, but make sure that the whole environment is clear. Get everybody out of there. Because the president wasn't shot where he was like, I'm dying, I need to get to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. He was inflicted in his ear that wasn't going to result in death. Especially if they just put something on it just to stop the bleeding. But just a crazy event. I'm not trying to bring politics into this. I'm not trying to bring religion into this. Just let me know what you feel about this event. Sorry, tragedy. Let me say tragedy because it's not an event. Well, the rally was an event, but it's just a tragedy in general. But tell me how you feel. Let me know your opinion on it. And let's have a debate and talk in the comment section below. Again, very tragic and very sorry for the man, that lost his life. But, at the end of the day, I would give up my life for my family any day. And I would be damn proud of it, too. So I hope y'all take care. Stay safe. God bless. I'm Jake. Have a good day.